Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Perfect Fit Continued Training. Today, we're going to quickly chat about how to change panels and shelves and the color change, how to change doors, the color and profile change, as well as drawer fronts, and using 8mm drawer boxes and 16mm drawer boxes and the colors that go with it. One thing to note is that using our 8mm drawer boxes, they come in all other colors other than white. Using our 16mm drawer boxes, they only come in white itself to keep costs down. So let's go ahead and start changing our color profiles, so our profiles as well as our color changes. So I've got a 2020 open up right now, and let's take a look at our system. So our system is currently all in white. We have 4 different module systems, as you can see here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some doors to elevation 2, and we're going to add some drawers on elevation 1. So I have my elevation 1 ready, and I'm going to go ahead and insert some drawers. So I'm going to go into my categories, parts, drawers, and I have 4 sections for my drawers. I have my dovetail section. I have my TFL 5/8 16mm section. Please note that this is the actual drawer box system that comes 5-piece, unassembled, so your installer will have to assemble it on site using 12 dowels. And this only comes in white boxes. The next section here is we have our 8mm drawer boxes. Now these drawer boxes are 8mm, so they're very slim and they're fantastic. What's really great about these 8mm drawer boxes is they come in all different colors other than white. So if you have a system that's white, you might want to choose maybe a wood finish color. Or if you're changing your whole entire system to a different color, it's best to actually make the drawer boxes the same color. And last but not least is we have our scooped dovetail drawer boxes. Now with our scooped dovetail drawer boxes and our regular drawer boxes, or dovetail drawer boxes with fronts, we don't need to change the drawer box components whatsoever. It already comes defaulted in our dovetail specs. So let's go ahead and take a look at our 8mm and our 16mm. So 8mm and 16mm. We're going to use our 8mm first. I'm going to go ahead and grab my 8mm 12-inch high front. I'm going to drag it into the system and drop it in, left click and drop. And we'll do the same thing. Do another one up top here. So I'm going to grab just a whole bunch of 12s. And these are all our 8mm drawer boxes, and they come pre-assembled. No assembly required, just adding in the drawer slides as well as the drawer fronts and handles. So now I've got my 5 12-inch high fronts 8mm drawer boxes. And on elevation 2, I'm going to go into my categories, parts, and scroll all the way down to C door. So C door means door connect between fixed shelves. I'm going to drop it in, and I'm just going to go ahead and move this around. And I want from the very top shelf to the bottom shelf. And we don't want this on the ground because we don't want the door scraping on the ground. All right, so now I've got my C doors and I've got my drawer boxes and drawer fronts. So how do we change colors and profiles? Well, by default, everything will come in white and all accessories will come in chrome, as we all know. If I click on my items tab, then click on my features and options, which is right here indicated in my paint board. Now, if I scroll down, I know that right now my C door has been selected. If I move my dialog box, I know that that's currently selected. We're going to change everything all at the same time. We're going to scroll up and double click on global so that everything is selected. I know that everything's selected because if I move my dialog box, everything is highlighted in green. So this is great. This will save us a lot of time. So let's take a look at the properties below and how to change that. So if we go from top to bottom, we have our slides options, we have our rods options, then we have our door profile and the changes and the colors. Next is we have finish. This talks about if there's no indication of finish whatsoever, finished means just your panels and shelves, but this also does include your drawer boxes. And then right here, we have our drawer profile here as well. So we have 3, 4, 5 different sections that we want to change. Where it says edge banding, right here, I do not want to touch anything that says edge banding. I typically will leave this alone, keep it at default. So at the very top, slides options. So I could select the option code and click side mount soft close or keep it at under mount. I like to keep everything as my under mount soft close slides. I want to utilize and maximize the width for each module. Next is rod finish and options. I can easily change one of my other different colors of rods from anything from our round rod oil rub bronze. We have our round rod matte aluminum and so forth. So we can change our rods. I'm going to keep it at our oval chrome rods. It's probably our best selling rod that we have. Next is going to be door profile. So this is just relating to the actual door, not the drawer fronts. So in elevation 2, we indicated that on elevation 2, we have 2 sets of doors, 2 pairs for a total of 4. This is where I would change the profiles. So if I clicked on EUR, I can either pick up the Brooklyn series, a 5-piece shaker, a 5-piece glass shaker, or the slim shaker. As well, it's indicated on the right-hand side, illustrated here. Now let's go ahead and pick 5-piece shaker. So now my door profiles will all be in 5-piece shaker. Next line item is the finish for the doors. So right now we're only doing the finish just for the doors. By default, everything's going to be in TFL1 in white wherever possible. I'm going to change this to TFL2. Let's pick a different color today. Now I've chosen TFL level 2, and let's go to my next subcategory, which is the actual color in TFL2. I can click on any of these TFL levels, and it'll keep changing my subcategory. So now if I change it to TFL3, now my next subcategory is TFL3, and so forth. But let's go back and change it to TFL2. And underneath the finish TFL level 2, by default, natural Vincenza oak has been selected. Let's change everything so that they're all going to be tobacco Halifax or tobacco Carina walnut. So let's pick tobacco Carina walnuts. Next is my pull option here. By default, it's by no handles. Let's just pick a basic matte nickel chrome or matte nickel pull knob. So now I've got my door profile changed to a 5-piece shaker. I have level 2, chosen a tobacco Carina walnut, and I've chosen a basic pull knob. The next section, if I click on the plus button on the finish, I'll have 2 sections of the finish. To make it easy and make them all the same color, I'm going to click on multiple. Click all at the same time. I'm going to click my level 2. I'm going to match it with our tobacco Carina walnut. And there's my subcategory. We'll pick tobacco Carina walnut. And I'm now going to leave everything alone on edge band. Next is going to be our drawer profile. I'm going to click on 5-piece shaker, just like my door profiles. And level 2. And now I'm going to pick tobacco Carina with our basic handle. If I click on OK. And now we're going to go into our perspective. Now we can see that everything is in tobacco Carina walnut. Now let's dissect this a little bit further. I'm going to click on the undo and keep everything back to default. So we're going to pretend that we didn't touch anything in features and options, and we're going to be all back in white. So let's go back to our perspective view. Everything's back in white. Now, if you remember what I said earlier in the video, our 8mm drawer boxes come in all other colors other than white. If we open up this box, so I'm just going to go ahead and open up this drawer box and let's take a look at this properties and better to see it in the perspective view. I'm just going to click on variables and I'm going to open up the drawer so everybody can see it. And go back to my perspective view. So by default, if you choose an 8mm drawer box, and I open that up, the drawer front's going to be in white, and the default is natural Vincenza oak. That is the default for the 8mm drawer boxes. So if you want to choose everything all in white, you can certainly do so. And if you want the 8mm drawer boxes, by default, this is going to be natural Vincenza oak. The reason why we chose this color is it's the most natural looking wood color and closest to our dovetail drawer box. So when they open it, they see a nice wooden drawer box. Again, if you want to change this to a different color, by all means. So let's go ahead and find where this section is if I want to change just the 8mm drawer box section. I'm going to click on my items options. We're going to select global once again. So global has been selected. I know it's been selected because everything's green in the back. Now, if I dissect this finish right here, one of these two sections is going to be the 8mm drawer box. Well, I know that everything's all in white right now. So this is level 2. So this section right here is the actual section where you need to change the actual drawer box section. But again, it's easier. So if I click on this right now, click on level 3, for example, and change that, it doesn't give me a section to actually, or subcategory to change the drawer box section. The reason being is that it's combined with the drawer front. So it gets it all confusing here. So the best thing to do is to change everything all at the same time, which I just showed everybody. If I want to individually change it, so sometimes there are different areas where you want to individually change one part to a different color. So if I right click on this particular drawer front and drawer box, I'll click on my features and options. So now I'm just selecting this one item itself. Now I can actually change both the color and the drawer profile at the same time. So right now, my finish for my actual drawer boxes, I know for sure is going to be in natural Vincenza oak, but let's change it to level 4. Now I'm going to change level 4. Let's change it to old cottage oak. So now my box is just old cottage oak. We'll click on OK, and let's take a look in perspective. And now I see that the box is just in that one color that I just changed it to. To change the drawer fronts, let's go back, right click, 8DW12, features and options. And there is my old cottage oak. If I scroll down, right now the current drawer profile is Euro. Let's change it to a 5p shaker as an example. Next, we want, we don't want it in white. We want to change this to level 4. And we're going to change it to old cottage oak and our basic handle. So now I've changed the profiles and the drawer box just for that particular drawer box itself. So if it makes everything confusing to change everything all at once, I would change everything all at once at the same time. And if we need to go back to actually change the particular values on every single box, we can manually do so. So let's do the bottom one as an example. Let's just change this one individually. Go back to features and options. I know that one box has been selected. And let's go ahead, change the finish. Now let's change it to TFL level 3. And let's pick on a carbone. And we'll do the same thing, drawer profile. We'll keep it at Euro fronts instead. Go back to level 3 and the finish to carbone and with a basic handle. Click on OK and perspective view once again. And as you can see here, everything is carbone. I can even open this drawer box just so that you can see the inside. And let's open this up. I'll look at the 10 inches out. And let's take a look. I know that it's already been changed because right here in attributes, it's already been changed. And right here in perspective view. And we can do the same thing with these actual door fronts as well. So let's go back to elevation 2. And I can individually zoom in. Left click off screen. I'm going to right click. I'm going to click on C door. And again, I can individually change this instead of changing it all at the same time. By default, everything is in Euro slab. Let's change this to a 5-piece glass shaker this time. So 5-piece glass shaker door. Next is inserts and decorative paneling. So by default, the Venezia glass line has been selected. Next is Venezia inserts. By default, everything's going to be a clear glass. Let's choose mirror. Mirror is a popular one. And let's say our client wanted a mirror. So right now we have our 5-piece glass door in Venezia, our subcategory, and now we have our clear mirror. So that's just for the profile, but now we have to change the actual color. So right now everything is defaulted in white. Let's change it now to maybe level 4, and let's change it to our color of Argento. Pull option, let's choose a different pull option this time. Let's choose one of these. Let's choose one of these pull options right here. 228 millimeters matte aluminum. We'll click on OK, and our perspective view. And as you can see, everything has been changed. Please note that whenever you use the 5-piece glass door option, we have several different types of Venezia glass lines. Note that during the render, it will not change. This has been done on purpose so that your clients can actually see what's on the inside of the actual doors itself. We could easily open this up. We can open up this item, go to my variables, and we'll open the door 90 degrees. Click on apply and OK. Now I've opened the door 90 degrees, and this is another option as well if they want to actually see the interiors a little bit more. Opening up the drawer boxes and opening up the accessories. Again, I always change my door and drawer profiles and color changes at the very end, because whenever I drag and drop new items into the actual components, it will all be in white. So let's go ahead and go back to defaults here, or let's change all the colors. I'm going to click on items, options, and we're going to change everything all at the same time. We're going to rechange everything. So door and drawer profile. So I'm going to change so that everything's going to be a 5-piece shaker. I'm also going to change my drawer profile to 5-piece shaker. So everything's going to be 5PS. That's what we want. Now, door profile, 5PS. The finishes, we're going to keep everything as, let's say, level 2. I'll make everything level 2 right now. Underneath our level 2, I'm going to choose Hacienda Black and one of our basic handles. Next section here, so we don't want to jump. Next is the finish. So we have multiple different finishes because we have multiple different colors that we did change. So let's just change the finish all at the same time. We're going to click on multiple and change everything to level 2. So now everything's going to get changed all at the same time. We don't have to individually change it. And let's click on Hacienda Black. We're going to leave edge banding all alone. And next we have the drawer profile. So again, we're going to change everything all to 5PS, 5-piece shaker. And we're going to change everything to level 2. And let's change everything to Hacienda Black. And go back to our basic pull handle. We'll click on OK. Let's take a look at perspective view. And we can see everything is in a 5-piece, as we can see the shadowing effect. Everything's a 5PS, 5-piece. And what I want to show everybody is that whenever I drag and drop new items, so go to my parts, shelves, if I grab another adjustable shelf, and let's say I place it right here as just as an example, and there is my new white piece. So again, when we're editing, during the editing phase, every time you add a new component, it'll always go back to defaults. Instead of changing everything all at the same time during the editing phase, I can easily just right-click on that one new item, go to my features and options, and change the actual color to level 2, go back to Hacienda Black, and everything should all be the same now. And everything is now back in Hacienda Black. So to recap, there are a variety of different ways to change the colors and the profiles for every single item. We can go to items and options and change everything all at the same time. And then we can go back to individually change single items whenever we'd like to. Option 2, we can individually change the items individually, which will take more time. But in some instances, when you have different doors and drawers, then changing them individually might be best suited, again, depending on your project. Again, we're also noting that when we're using our 8mm or 5/16, we have our drawer boxes in other colors other than white. By default, the natural Vincenza oak is going to be the color for the 8mm drawer boxes. And then for our 16mm drawer boxes, it only comes in white to keep the cost down. I hope this video does help, and if you do need assistance, please always email us at support@perfectfitcanada.com, and one of our lovely front-end staff will be happy to assist. Thank you kindly. Oh, and that should be perfect.